fortitude and courage, the driving forces of the world's best gymnasts. 71 countries have convened to compete for their nation's pride. It's the World Gymnastics Championships from Tianjin, China. For China, it's the first time holding an event of this magnitude and will ultimately set the stage for the highest honor and distinction, the coveted gold in Sydney, Australia. Today, the world's best compete in the team finals in a unique country that embraces this beautiful and artistic sport. We welcome you to Tianjin, China. We're about 80 miles from Beijing. This is the 1999 World Gymnastics Championships. 651 athletes from around the world, 71 countries represented. My name is Chris Marlowe. We start with the women's team final. 6 teams remain, and one of those teams marching in right now is the United States of America. 5th in Lausanne, Switzerland in 1997, and the always powerful Chinese. For more, let's go over to 1984 gold medalist Bart Connor. Bart?
Well, it seems like every time we come to the World Team Championships, it comes down to the same old story. Romania and Russia battling for the team gold medal. That should be the case tonight. The Romanians are so strong and deep and consistent. That's why they're the 3-time defending world champions. The Russians are led by the Olympic and world gold medalist Svetlana Horkina. She is artistic and creative, and she leads a very beautiful team. They'll need to be consistent on the balance beam if they hope to challenge the world champion Romanians. Now, the bronze medal, that's up for grabs. It's anyone's guess. It could be the Americans, could be Ukraine, it could be China. China is at home, but they're an immature and young team. The Americans have limped into this competition. They're led by Vanessa Atler and Kristen Maloney. They've had some injuries and some inconsistencies. They'll need to be solid today, but they could win a bronze medal if they nail it.
Quick look at the competition guidelines. The scores do not carry over from the preliminaries. The women rotate among 4 apparatus: vault, bars, beam, and floor. The men rotate among 6: floor, pommel horse, still rings, vault, bars, and the high bar. And when you add it all up, the sum of the 4 scores per apparatus are tallied for the team total. One other thing to keep in mind, all 4 events for the women are going on simultaneously. We'll explain more of that in a minute. Now we're going to start on balance beam with China's Bai Chunyue.
Interesting, this young lady is 16 years old, but get this, she's 4 feet 3 inches tall, and she's enormously popular here in China. Nice opening combination there.
Keep in mind that Chunyue has to deal with the distraction of Havana Gila in the background, and that is not for her. That is for the floor exercise.
Comes the tumbling sequence, back handspring, 2 back handsprings to a layout. Oh! You can hear this crowd. There's a lot of intensity in this building, expecting the Chinese women to place well in the team competition. That fall cost them a half of a point. Kind of an unusual presentation style and choreography, a little choppy.
I agree.
And a pretty clean double back dismount, but as you hear that crowd, they are really into this competition. The Romanians look strong. The Russians look strong. The Chinese will have to be on, and they can't afford mistakes like this if they hope to challenge for a team medal today.
By Chun Yue, score on beam 8.925. She was hoping for better. Let's move over to the floor exercise now. This is the Russian Svetlana Orkina. Silver at the World Championships. She's good.
So you go from the tiniest competitor in the meet to perhaps the tallest at more than 5 feet 4 inches tall. Orkina is a delight to watch on the floor. On that last tumbling pass, but a good cover. She has such terrific presentation and style that even when she's a little off, she does a good job at covering up. This is a gorgeous triple twist and a lovely swan-like landing. Here is the 2.5 twister, and she was a little shorter rotation there, and she fought to pull that tuck somersault around. But once again, a 9.8 for her because of her style and elegance and complete presentation. That was beautiful.
So a solid score for Orkina. And now the American Elise Ray. Her first of 2 vaults, 6th place at the Nationals.
Okay, a little bouncy on the landing there. That vault is what they call a Yurchenko with a full twist in the laid out position. It's only a 9.5 start value. Each vault is judged based on its degree of difficulty. She'll need a little more difficulty to get a big score. The technique is very clean on this, and that's typical of everything that Elise does. She has very nice execution and clean form.
9.125 on her first vault. Keep in mind, the 2 vaults are averaged for your final score.
Now, the second vault should be a higher degree of difficulty. From a 9.8, she's going to add an extra half twist onto what she just did. Okay, good for her. Now, this is an improvement for her. She has gotten better on this event. And it's nice to see a cheering American crowd. Those are the parents. USA Gymnastics brought the parents of all these gymnasts over to the competition here in China. It's a long way to go. It's good to have some support.
And a very nice gesture.
Well done. Clean execution. As you see from the high angle here, pretty good push off the horse. You'll see some more powerful vaults, but this is an improvement for her because she's added the degree of difficulty and to get a little bit better score.
9.450 for vault number 2. And her average 9.287 for 17-year-old Elise Ray. We now move to the uneven bars. From Ukraine, here is Victoria Karpinka.
This young lady has enormous potential. We've talked about this before. She's had some injuries that have kept her out of major competitions, including the Olympics and the World Championships last year. This is one of her best events. In fact, she has 2 moves named after her. One of them's coming up right here. That full pirouette, nicely done. Oh, a little short in that handstand, but a good, clean connection otherwise. I don't think you're going to find more well-conditioned athletes anywhere. She's strong, clean, and very intense. Ukrainian team very solid on the bars. All of the gymnasts scoring in the mid 9.5 range. There is that move called the Karpenka. It's an inverted giant swing, hop, full pirouette back to inverts. And look at the clean execution on that release move. This is the best I've seen her look. Beautiful laid out double somersault. Intensity in that landing.
She has been bothered her last 3 years with injuries, which have held her back. 9.737 for Karpenka. 9.737. Excellent. Back to the vault, the United States, Vanessa Atler.
Oh, man. Boy, did she fly that vault, Chris. You can see it in her face. Yeah, I hit a good one, didn't I, Coach? This is the double twisting Yurchenko, and she really launches this. Now, we've actually seen her do it even a little bit higher and slightly cleaner. She has a great push off the horse. Nice mechanics in the air, and boy, that's a clean landing.
The national champion this year, 9.637 on her first vault. Once again, it's the average.
And excuse me, the Americans had been complaining after day one that their scores were a little bit tight. I thought that could have been even a little bit of a higher score there. Let's see her second vault, again from a 9.9 start value. The gymnasts in the team final have to do 2 different vaults, not necessarily from different families, but 2 different vaults. And this one is a handspring laid out front with a half. Nice execution, just slightly over-rotated. Believe it or not, she can actually do that vault with a 1.5 twist.
And vault number 2 registers at 9.5 plus, and her average 9.5 plus. The first rotation is complete. Russia, Ukraine, China, and the United States. The favored Romanians have yet to go. The same with the up-and-coming Australians. ESPN's coverage of the 1999 World Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Dannon Fruit on the Bottom. Which great new taste are you going to try? '99 World Championships. As the teams move to the second rotation, one important aspect of the World Championships is determining the 12-team Olympic field.
Yes, and that is for many teams the most important goal at these World Championships is a guarantee that they get their team into the Olympics. As you can see, those are the top 12 that will go as complete teams to the Olympics, all the way down to Belarus, which was the 12th and final qualifier to Sydney.
Okay, the start of rotation number 2. Our first look at the Romanian squad. And here is Maria Olaru on balance beam.
We saw Olaru about 2 years ago competing nationally and internationally, but last year she had a knee surgery around this time and kept her out of some major events. She's very clean and she's very consistent as well as balanced. She's good on all of the events, but particularly strong on the floor and the vault.
She's had a great junior career. Does that normally translate to a great senior career when you move up?
Sure does, and the experience that she gained as a junior I think will help her here. She has not competed in a world championship before. Only 2 members of the Romanian team have. That's Simona Amanar and Corina Ungureanu. The other 4 members of this team have never been in a major meet, and yet they're still considered one of the favorites here.
first international competition, 1995, at the China Cup, where she finished 10th in the all-around.
And a very clean double twist off the side. Now, that routine was not spectacular, nothing really unusual, but typical for the Romanians, very clean and solid. Good execution.
Romanian Maria Olaru, 9.687 for her beam routine. Let's now move to the floor exercise. This is Ling Jia of China.
She is 16 years old. Spectacular on the uneven bars. The Chinese team not as powerful on the floor and vault as the team we have seen from them the last couple of years. Very young team here. Very pretty presentation. A little weak in the tumbling. Most of her tumbling elements were twisting elements. She did no double somersaulting elements. There's a 2.5 twister right to a punch front, and like Horkina, a little bit underpowered, let's say.
9.625 for Ling Jia. Let's move now to the uneven bars for the United States. Here is Kristen Maloney, the national all-around champion this year.
She also has 2 moves named after her on the uneven bars. She's very aggressive here. Watch this combination. Toe on, full pirouette. Nicely done. Already for the Americans, Jeanette Antolin had a 9.25. Morgan White a 9.2. Here she is setting up for the dismount. Okay, nice going. Now Vanessa Atler, also from the U.S. team, had only a 9.075, struggled on the bars, so they needed this performance from the Americans, and they got it out of Kristen Maloney. Watch these powerful giants into a laid-out double somersault with a full twist. She just piked down a little bit on the landing.
The score for Kristen Maloney of the United States, 9.212. 9.212 for Maloney. Quickly now, here's Elise Ray on bars.
This is an event where she is spectacular. Talk about clean execution, beautiful form. She can even do a routine with a more difficult element in. Perhaps she'll go for it in the finals. Nice form on that finish. Jack Carter, the coach at Parkettes and one of the coaches of this World Championship for the U.S. team, happy with that performance. Look at her body line, toe point, clean position in the air on the double layout with a full twist.
Elise Ray is an 11th grader at Wild Lake High School, and she receives a nifty 9.725. Good score for Elise Ray. Yes. The standings at the moment, the United States and China have completed 2 rotations. Technically, they are 1-2. Russia opened strongly on floor, and surprisingly, Romania lagging in 5th. They had 2 falls on beam. We'll be back. 1999 World Championships, the 34th time this event has been held, but the first on Chinese soil. We are set for the start of rotation 3. We begin on balance beam. This is Natalia Hordney of Ukraine.
Beautiful high front somersault on. She is also new to this World Championship level of competition, but I like her style.
Once again, if you just joined us, all 4 women's apparatus compete simultaneously. So you will hear music, you will hear cheers, all kinds of things from the other events.
As with every piece of equipment, the judges are looking for what they call special requirements on the balance beam. They need to see dance elements, acrobatic elements, a full turn as she just demonstrated there. And you can imagine with that music going on in the background, it's very difficult to maintain focus. Nice side somersault. Long pause to set up for the dismount. 2 back handsprings to a double. Not bad.
Natalia Hordney, her beam routine. One more look.
This is where she almost fell off on that side somersault, but she did recover well to do 2 good back handsprings into a tucked double back somersault, a little shorter rotation. Good fight, though, on the landing.
9.337 for Hordney of Ukraine. Let's move to the floor exercise now. Loredana Bobac of Romania.
The Romanians off to such a horrible start on the balance beam. A huge deficit to come from behind here. They're about a point behind where they wanted to be. The first performer for Romania on the floor, 9.7 for Ungurianu, and this is a very powerful young lady. Outstandingly quick off the floor on those tumbling elements. Talked to head coach Octavian Belu of the Romanian team, and he said we have several young gymnasts back at home that are as good as this young lady. It's nice to have that kind of talent to choose from. But her tumbling is outstanding, which once again is kind of a Romanian tradition. It seems often that the choreography is an afterthought, but the tumbling is foremost in their minds. Look at this front step out through to a triple full. Well done.
9.7 for Bobac. We move now to the uneven bars. Our first look at the Australian team. Here is Alana Slater.
And this is very exciting for the Australian team because one of the former American coaches, Peggy Liddick, moved from the United States 20 months ago down to Australia, and she's been working with this program, and they are outstanding. Obviously putting a lot of effort into preparing a team because they'll be hosting the Olympics next year.
Every federation seems to be pouring money into its individual sport.
That's what they've done. Beautiful high, full over the bar. Nice execution in that release move. Their scores all in that 9-4 to 9-6 range, and there's Peggy Liddick, former coach of Shannon Miller, America's Olympic gold medalist and part of that Mag 7 team.
The Aussie crowd getting a kick out of that routine.
The Australian team, they have high levels of difficulty everywhere, and perhaps one of the most important contributions that Peggy Liddick has done is they're very polished. She's really worked on their presentation, their clean form, nice execution, and good fight on that landing.
Strong routine for Alana Slater, 9-6-2-5 on bars. Back to the vault. Here is Svetlana Horkina. Bart, you mentioned earlier that she was tall. She once said, "I'm very easy to see on the podium because everyone else is so small."
Now watch this vault. This is new for her. Double twister. Oh, my goodness. She twisted that right into the ground. Now, we've been watching her do that in practice. I think this is dangerous. Watch how this thing just screws into the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe that's good for your knees. My goodness. She is surely underpowered. She came in too high on the horse, and so she didn't get a good push, but she does it this way all the time.
And clearly not pleased with that vault. Her average 9.256, below par for Horkina. All right, the Russian is up on vault, Yelena Zamolodchikova.
You got through that name, Chris. Watch this vaulter. Talk about a powerhouse. Look at this. That is a laid-out Sukahara with a double twist. Boy, and she does it easily. Watch the power as she launches off the horse. This is a 10-0 start value vault. Nice execution. You talk about that name. I joke that if they had to put their names on their leotards, hers would go all the way around, at least once. She's a tiny young lady, but what a powerhouse.
Good score on her first vault. We'll take the average of the two.
This will be the Yurchenko style with a double twist. Man, she has it all here. She has the power and the execution. Beautiful launch off the horse. And great distance from the horse for such a tiny young lady.
You could say she's the next big name in Russian gymnastics. 9.699 for Zamolodchikova. After 3 complete rotations, the Russians, after their floor and vault routines, have moved into first place.
And the Romanians made a big jump after their efforts on the floor. They're back up into second place. The United States struggled on the bars.
All right, we're coming back. More of the World Gymnastics Championships coming up. Tianjin, China, site of this year's World Gymnastics Championships. Chris Marlowe and Bart Connor set for the start of rotation 4 in the women's team event. Here is Ina Skarupa from Ukraine on floor.
She's the first to go for this team. Each team fields 5 gymnasts on each piece of equipment. The top 4 scores count, and a great opening tumbling run. That's what they call an Arabian double front. Nice landing. That's a nice combination. Very high leaps. So far, clean tumbling. Here's her last run. It's going to get a nice score. Very complete presentation. Now let's take a look at the last tumbling run. This is a double somersault in the piked position. You'll see a lot of gymnasts use that here. She earns 1/10 of a point bonus and a good clean landing.
Floor exercise for Ina Skarupa, 9.650. Solid. Another American is now up on beam. This is Elise Ray.
Had a very good meet so far. 9.287 on the vault, 9.725 on the bars. Beautiful double turn. Oh. Now you earn bonus points for doing a move like that, but if you have an error that's a 2/10 of a point break or more, you will not get the bonus for doing that move. So the gymnasts are encouraged to try challenging moves, but if they have any execution errors, they won't get the bonus points in addition to losing deductions for technical problems. Very pretty leaps. Nice combination there. Front somersault right to what they call a wolf jump. Anytime the gymnasts combine an acrobatic element with a dance element, they fulfill another requirement and a good dismount off to the side. This is a good example of the fluidity of her movement. Smooth and relaxed. Here's the double turn. And in this case, it ended up being about 2 1/4 turns. A little bit too much. There'll be a deduction there.
Elise Ray gets a 9.450, Bart.
She's fanning herself off. It's very hot in the gym there.
Continuing on beam now with American Vanessa Atler, one of her best events.
She had a 9.599 on the vault today. She struggled a little bit on the bars, 9.075. She hasn't solved her problems on the uneven bars yet. But she's normally very explosive on the beam. Watch this opening tumbling run, 2 back handsprings to a layout. It's big. Oh. Now, anytime a gymnast has a 2/10 of a point deduction or more, they lose the potential bonus points, plus the execution errors, so that's a big deduction for her. Morgan White from the U.S. team had a 9.262. Oh! Now that's a 1/2 point more deduction. She's going to need to get refocused. She seems just off. Even now, it appears that her concentration is not there, even on the simple moves. Oh, she missed a connection right there. She was supposed to do a switch leap into the layout. Boy, when you talk about meltdown. Oh, this is tough to watch. So much expectation out of this young lady. High hopes for the American team, not only here at the Worlds, but of course next year's Olympics. And this is just devastating. Here's a young lady that recently left her longtime coaches, the Rybackies. Her life is in turmoil. Nobody knows where she's going to end up after these World Championships, and only an 8:025.
Here is China's Ling Jia, set for her second vault.
In general, the Chinese have been very weak on this event. The last couple of years, they got stronger, and yet this team, once again, is weak on the vault. Okay. You can hear the crowd's approval. She was short of rotation and landed very low, but this enormously biased crowd is going to cheer her on anyway.
So that was the second of her two, 9.281, her composite score. And now, Svetlana Horkina, the 1997 world champion on this event. This is her favorite, and she is spectacular.
And Chris, she defines uneven bars because she has such a variety of elements. Watch these release moves. Watch this transitional element. She does 1.5 pirouette down to the low bar. This move coming up here is a Horkina right there. Transition back to the high bar. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, just a little step there on the landing. She didn't come to a complete hold on that finish. That will be a slight deduction, but the rest of the routine was just outstanding, as always.
Despite that slight deduction, you can see why she is the reigning world and Olympic champion.
And watch this combination here, the 1.5 pirouette and this transition to the low bar. This move here is called a Horkina, where she transfers back to the high bar. She actually has 3 moves on the uneven bars named after her. No other gymnast has achieved that. Just gorgeous form in the air, but as you see right here, she couldn't quite hold the landing, so she tried to finesse it to the judges. They're not going to buy it, but it'll still get a good score. Oh, my goodness.
Really good score, 9.825.
It's nice being the world champ.
For Russia's Svetlana Horkina. Now here's China's Liu Xuan, her second vault.
The Chinese have done poorly here. Their scores barely averaging over a 9.0. This is a 9.8 start value vault. 1.5 twister. Little difficulty controlling that landing. She's the most experienced member of the Chinese team here. She has good technique, but in general, the Chinese team just lacks power. Perhaps it's in their training. Their technique is really good. Very nice execution, just not quite the same kind of power that you might see from a Vanessa Atler from the United States, for example.
Liu Xuan score on her second vault, 9.4. Her average of the two, 9.325. The standings after 4 rotations, Russia ahead of Ukraine and China. United States moving up.
And Romania and Australia have not yet performed their 3rd exercise in this competition. 6 rotations today instead of a normal 4.
All right, we'll be back. The 1999 World Championships continue from Tianjin, China, along with 1984 gold medalist Bart Conner. I'm Chris Marlowe. We start rotation number 5. Here is Romania's Andreea Raducan.
She comes from Berlad, Romania, which is in the Moldavian region, which is where Nadia Comaneci is from.
How'd you know that?
Oh, that's a nice looking vault. Beautiful form in the air. Clean execution. Now that has a start value of only 9.6, so it can't get a super high score. But combined with her first vault, she should have a good average of the 2. Very clean.
And the average score for Raducan, 9.468. 9.468 for Raducan. Let's go over to the floor exercise. Here is Elise Ray for the United States, America's best in this particular apparatus.
She's had a great competition. It's not the case for every American after that rough U.S. team performance on the balance beam. Beautiful triple full right to a punch front. Nice opening run. Such a presence, such class and clean execution. Absolutely beautiful.
Fun to watch.
Take a look at this tumbling run. It's the triple twist right to a punch front. Very difficult opening tumbling combination. And she finished with a 2.5 twister, not quite as high as the opening tumbling run, but nice finesse throughout that exercise.
American Elise Ray's floor score, 9.725. Well done. We'll come back to Tianjin, China after this. Tianjin Gymnasium here in China. 1999 World Championships. We're in the midst of rotation 5. And we go right to the bars. And here is China's Dongfeng Xiao.
And this is the event where the Chinese set all new standards with execution and difficulty. Watch the straight handstands, beautiful pirouetting actions right at the top. Dongfeng Xiao is really the best on their team in terms of floor and vault. She's not quite as precise as the others on the bars. There's a move called a Komenich. Same move that American Vanessa Atler had struggled with and has since taken out of her routine. Okay, nice double front dismount.
She likes it.
And these young ladies from the Chinese team, they're like sisters. They live together, train together, and they're tremendously supportive of each other. There's the full pirouette into what they call inverted giant swings. She hops out, and she doesn't quite have the same level of technical precision as some of her teammates. Double front somersault really high and just drops out of the ceiling on that.
The score for China's Dongfeng Xiao on bars, 9.550. Simona Amanar on vault.
Wow. Nice double twisting Yurchenko. That's why she's the world champion and Olympic champion on this event. Look at how she just launches that thing in the air. She gets the best block off the horse in the meet. Watch here. Her hands get back onto the horse very quickly. Sets her up for the double twister and a very easy landing.
9.737. Vault number 2 coming up. Once again, it's the average of the two.
This is a 9.8 start value vault. The first vault was a 9.9 start value vault, so you can expect a slightly lower score. She needs to keep her body straighter on this. It's slightly piked. and a slight knee bend as she comes to the landing. With a straight body, you can get a good score on that vault.
The score for Romanian Simona Amanar, the average 9.656. 9.656.
Romania is making a great comeback after the disaster on the beam. Floor and vault has been very good.
United States' Vanessa Atler is up on floor. Americans could use a confidence-building performance here.
And speaking of disasters, she scored only an 8.025 on the balance beam in the last rotation. A complete meltdown there. She fell off twice. Watch this opening tumbling run. Double layout to a punch front. Nice. Have done well on the floor. 9.312 for Antolin. Dancher had a 9.325. You saw Elise Ray's 9.725, and Kristen Maloney had a 9.662. Here's the last tumbling run for Atler. Should be a triple twist. Oh, just short. Well, I think American Vanessa Atler is used to a lot more applause. This Chinese audience is cheering only for the Chinese.
Get that right.
Watch this double layout punch front. It's a little lower than she normally does it. This floor is a little dead, and it's hard for her to get the kind of rebound that she's used to. However, she does hang this triple full up in the air nicely, but shorter rotation, and that big leap forward will be 2 to 3/10 of a point deduction.
The score for American Vanessa Atler, 9.512. 9.512 for Atler. So China and the United States have completed their competition, but keep in mind the two favorites, Russia and Romania, separated by 7/10 of a point. We'll come back. The final battle is coming up next. We'll have more of the 1999 World Gymnastics Championships from Tianjin, China, after this. But realistically, Bart, two teams have a chance to win.
And they're coming into some critical events. Russia will be on the balance beam, and they're a little more than 7/10 of a point ahead of Romania coming up on their worst event, the uneven bars.
Here is Olga Rashukina on vault.
She's a little underpowered. She's a great all-around gymnast and pretty balanced, but she needs to build up her leg strength a little bit, because on the floor and vault events, she's a little bit weak. This vault has a 9.70 start value. It's a Yurchenko style. Okay, not bad, but as you can see, she doesn't quite get off the horse and launch it like an Amanar or an Atler. Watch what she does, a half on right here, and then a half off and a backflip. Not bad, but it will get a modest score.
Vault number 2 coming up. She got a 9.075.
Generally, you put up your weakest athletes early in the lineup, as she is going here, and you build to your stronger ones. This is a 9.8 start value. That's too bad. Oh.
That will cost her.
Oh, she's not only disappointed, but you know that just munches the ankles.
And obviously distraught, Olga Rashukina.
Let's take a look at what happens here. This is the half on. She comes on pretty high and is not able to get the kind of catapulting push off the horse that she needed. Here's another good example. You need to come in low like a stone skipping across the water, and she came in too high on the pre-flight, which allows her to get nothing off on the post-flight. That's unfortunate.
Rashukina of Ukraine, 8.650. On her second vault, The average 8.862.
It's a very tight battle for third place with China and Ukraine right now, so they need better performances there.
Here is Ekaterina Labozniak from Russia. Her beam routine.
And this is a polished young lady. We were hoping to see her last year at the Junior Europeans in Russia, but she broke her arm and unfortunately couldn't compete. But you want to talk about a gymnast that has it all. She does. She has the power, and as you can see, she has the execution and the presence. Front right to a wolf jump. Nice combination. Watch this move here. Half turn to a front somersault. Boy, she's waiting a while for it. Nicely done. That's what they call an Arabian. Perfect execution. She took a little too long to set that up. It's unusual to see two aerial walkovers. Oh, you saw her look over to the side. The gymnasts have about 1.5 minutes to complete the routine. She looked over, I believe, to see the score timer, to see if she's within the time limit. And she makes it.
One of the bright young stars of the Russian team. You could say that about every one of their gymnasts, though, couldn't you?
That's about right. Leonid Arkayev, the head coach of the Russian team, has so many young ladies to pick from.
The score for Ekaterina Labozniak, 9.6. Rock solid.
And meanwhile, over on the uneven bars, the Romanians doing well, averaging a little more than a 9.5. So it's going to be a tight battle as we get ready for the final performances here.
Russia and Romania for the gold at the 1999 World Championships. We'll be back with the final competitors after this. Stay with us. 1999 World Championships were set for Romania's Simona Amenar.
The Romanians have done well so far in the bars with a 9.412 from Ungurianu all the way up to a 9.637 for Olaru. This is not Simona's best event, and yet there's an enormous amount of pressure on them in this final rotation. They came into this 0.7 of a point behind the Russians, and the Romanians having to finish on their weakest event. So far, their scores have been good here, though. Nice full pirouettes over the top. It's going to get a nice score. It's not the creative original routine from someone like Horkina, but it has enough difficulty. And as can be expected from the Romanians, they do not give away valuable points and deductions, and they certainly don't take any unnecessary risks. Nice layout double at the end.
The score for Simona Amenar, 9.7. Excellent. Svetlana Horkina, she needs just a 9.4 to secure the team championship for Russia.
She has the ability to get a huge score on this event. Beautiful opening run. The Russians have had two weak scores here, an 8.725 from Kovalyova and a 9.35 from Produnova. So they can't afford a slip here. Beautiful swing through back handspring. Oh! On one of her signature moves, a full twisting back handspring, she falls. Oh, there is no way she can get the 9.4 she needs now. Anytime a gymnast falls off the apparatus, it's a 0.5 of a point deduction, plus form errors and other technical deductions. So that score is out of reach We've come to expect so much from this young lady, Olympic gold medalist, world all-around champion. The pressure of going on the beam in the final rotation is enormous. Here's her dismount. That will not be enough for the Russians. Hard to believe after having nearly a 1-point lead after the first rotation. She falls off on a move. Perhaps she should have taken this move out and gone for a safer exercise. That's not her style.
Well, you have to credit the Romanians, and especially Simona Amanar, for putting on the pressure. Horkina a 9.075. So a very discouraging finish for Svetlana Horkina and the Russian team.
She's the spirit and the intensity and the heart of this team. It's tough to watch that happen.
The Romanian celebration has begun. There is Octavian Belu, Romania's head man, and he has coached his team to the 1999 World Championship by about 0.3 of a point.
The Romanians won the last 4 world team titles in a row. That's amazing.
The final results: Romania edges Russia on the final performance of the evening. China moves up and takes third by just 1/10 of a point over Ukraine. The surprising Australia squad finishes 5th, and the United States, you have to say it, a disappointing 6th. Let's go over to Bart Connor. Bart?
Kelly, this team came into this competition tonight with a lot of intensity. Good start on vault, and then this has been a weird night, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. We did some great routines and didn't get rewarded for them, and then we did some routines that weren't our best. But the girls are a great group of fighters, and I was pleased to be on the floor with them.
Vanessa, it didn't go the way it should have gone, did it?
No, not really. I started off pretty well, but it just kind of went down from there a little bit for me. But it's okay, though. I'm glad our team pulled together. Kristen did a great team routine. And, I think we're a great team.
Kristen, you had a great night, but this has been a weird scene. Strange crowd reaction, strange judging. How do you assess all of this?
I don't know. I just try to not pay attention to that and go out and do my job that I know I can do. And if I don't get the scores, then, that's no problem. I did my best, and hopefully we'll come together again next year for the Olympics.
Kelly, where does this team go from here? It's a great team, obviously, but tonight it just wasn't there.
Where are we going from here tonight? I think we're going out to dinner and back to watch the boys meet.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, the women's competition is complete. We are getting set for the men's team final. The home team Chinese walk in. We'll have that for you next.